In the previous chapter, we saw Jooan was about to depart. News arrived that Elder Yuan had returned, catching Jooan off guard, but filling him with a newfound determination. "Let's begin the chapter." "Elder Yuan." Shouts echoed through the rundown labor office area as Jooan hurried toward a shabby door. It creaked open, revealing a familiar figure. Elder Yuan sighed, patting his chest. "Oh, it's Steward Jooan. What's got you so anxious?" "You're scaring this old man. I thought I'd forgotten Wang Irma's pill. Not that I didn't want to give it, you understand, but he did such a poor job with his errands and the executive punished him." "Elder Yuan," Jooan cut him off, rolling his eyes. Elder Yuan scratched his head. "Oh, right. Steward Jooan is a man of ambition and has no time for trifles. Oh, I almost forgot. I heard that you earned great credit in the Double Dragon gathering. You should be out there celebrating, not running around here." "Elder Yuan, I'm leaving," Jooan interrupted again, his voice heavy with resignation. Startled, Elder Yuan asked, "Leaving? Where?" "Home." Jooan sighed deeply. "I've already spoken with Zi Wu Yue. I've done my part, and the demon scheming sect is now a middle three sect. He has also let me go." "Is that so?" Elder Yuan closed, his eyes a wave of disappointment washing over him. "He still—" "Elder Yuan, I wanted to say goodbye to you before I left. You're the only one I respect in this sect, the only one that truly understands me." Jooan looked at Elder Yuan's dark face and sighed. "And I wanted to ask an important question. I fear only you can give me a good answer." Elder Yuan opened, his eyes, a gentle smile returning. He was back to his kind self. "Tell me then. If I can help Steward Jooan, it's my honor." "Elder Yuan is too kind." Jooan bowed slightly, his body tensing. "Elder Yuan, can demonic cultivators know love?" Elder Yuan paused for a moment, stumped. "By love, you mean familial, friendship, or—" "The last one." Jooan's face flushed slightly. Elder Yuan shook his head. "A love between a man and a woman is of course not possible. It's very dangerous. Why else would the demon-scheming sect forbid it?" "I see." Jooan felt disappointment wash over him, his shoulders slumping. But then hope flickered in his eyes. "But someone said that how can you be emotionless if you never knew emotion? You must feel it before you can squash it." "Who told you that?" Danking Shen. "Ha ha ha, so it was him." Elder Yuan shook his head. "He is the best in Western lands, but a righteous cultivator, unable to truly comprehend our demonic heart." Jooan's heart sank. Elder Yuan had clearly shot down this theory. His final answer to Chu Qingcheng would be negative. But then, the old man laughed, a warm, hearty laugh that lifted the despair. "The expert was right, though. No wonder he is the best in Western lands. He's gone far." Jooan's face twitched, and after being thrown in despair, he was lifted back up again. "Elder Yuan, can you not toy with me? I'm serious here." "Ha ha ha, but I am not. It's you who toys with yourself, since you already have your answer within you. Why ask me?" Elder Yuan teased. "Steward Jooan, do you want me to say that there's no harm in feeling love along your demonic path?" Jooan tensed, bowing deeply. "Elder Yuan is wise, my heart is treacherous, and I ask you to be the judge. An outside perspective sees much more. If this love will harm my path, then I will squash it?" Elder Yuan mocked gently. Jooan hesitated, then nodded. Elder Yuan sighed. "If some youngster came to me with this question, I'd answer, on the spot, that love is taboo for demonic cultivators. Touching it will bring endless pain and torture from which one can't escape. The demonic path is cruel and emotionless. Any feeling's its bane. But to you, Steward Jooan, I offer you one piece of advice. Let yourself go and accept it." Why? Jooan was stunned. Elder Yuan shook his head. Because you're already caught in its grip. Instead of breaking it, take it all if you don't want to develop a heart demon. Jooan's brow furrowed in shock. Do you know why we, demonic cultivators, warn never to feel love? Elder, Yuan asked. Jooan shook his head, lost. Ha ha ha, I don't know either. But after years of pondering, I think I have an inkling. It's not that demonic cultivators can't feel love. It's better reserved for those advanced players to tackle. Eh? Jooan was completely stumped. Elder Yuan continued. At the birth of the world, the righteous and demonic paths came to be. As the human heart has desire, it leads to two different ways to cultivate. The righteous path abolishes desire, to be one with the world, unshackled by any greed. While the demonic path is the opposite, experiencing endless desire through which to break the mortal coil and reach the Tao. In other words, righteous means to be above everything, while demonic implies sinking into it. This shows that the paths are neither good nor evil, but once you enter them, it's easy for desires to be born and end up at their mercy. This is a demon. By overcoming it, you reach Tao. So the demonic path means passing through the demon state to reach Tao. What we want to do in the end is to attain Tao. Because it's easy to be constantly tempted along our cultivation journey, we end up being demonic and earning such a bad name. But all those that achieved success in the demonic path are not demons, and certainly won't be like those 4 scheming demons, pillaging and killing at a whim, because they had gone beyond in their path and have come closer to Tao. Jooan nodded as understanding dawned. He used to think the demonic path implied selfishness, but now he saw it was just prejudice. By becoming a demon and rising above greed, one could reach the Tao. Jooan finally saw the path open before him. As for love, it's nothing by itself, but it's the most tempting desire from which escape is nigh impossible. Many demonic cultivators have been unable to distinguish love from desire and sink further and further, moving away from the Tao. That is why demonic cultivators are so ruthless when it comes to love, not getting anywhere near it. This is because it's hard for anyone to come back from it. To righteous cultivators, this is easier. They walk the path of abandoning all desire, neutralizing the desire, and keeping them safe. Elder Yuan continued, but you must understand, nothing ventured, nothing gained. The world is cruel, but also fair. The demonic path is filled with more pain than the righteous path. So when all these trials are overcome, the demonic cultivator would attain a higher level. Jooan nodded. In other words, love isn't scary, as long as I don't let it take me. Ha ha ha. That's besides the point right now, since you're already in it. Elder Yuan pointed at Jooan's heart. Do you know what a demonic cultivator's greatest heart demon is? Regret. Since you're already taken by love, if you don't settle it, it will turn into regret, and it will be much worse. As to how you are to escape the maelstrom of love, that will be up to you alone. That's why I said it's for advanced players only. A child has no place toying with it. But I believe you're the exception. I hope that even if you are taken over by love, you will be able to see your path and not be like Danking Shin, almost collapsing because of it, consumed by revenge, though he's also amazing, getting back on his path in the end. Ha ha ha. Taking a deep breath, Jooan nodded, bowing low. Thank you for everything, Elder Yuan. I know what to do now. I can finally give her an answer. I feel so much better. Ha ha ha. I'm only speaking what your heart tells you. It might not be the truth. While there's a demonic and righteous path, the world has thousands of other trails. Who is to say that yours is the right one? That's why it's all up to you to do what you feel is right. Elder Yuan spoke heavily. Steward Jooan, your heart already had an answer but was conflicted under the traditional beliefs. That's why you came to me. But the closer you are to Tao, the fewer people there are understanding it. There will come a time when no one can explain it to you. You will only have yourself to believe in. My past experiences might not be the right path. You will know it when you walk your own road. Startled, Jooan Fan bowed again. I will take it to heart. Jooan Fan left afterward. His next goal, the mystical heaven sect. Seeing his light steps, Elder Yuan nodded and sighed. The child has his own road, but why do you keep losing yours, Wu Yue? Master, is it really impossible? Damn miscreant, have you already forgotten that pain? Didn't that girl hurt you enough? No matter how much merit you've done for the sect, rules are rules. Sect leader won't budge on this matter, so just give it a rest. And don't even think about going to him with this, or you'll only make it worse. That time, even I can't save you. Jooan Fan's heart was free, unshackled and light. He felt so carefree as he walked, eager to get to the mystical heaven sect. But then his ear picked up two familiar voices, and they caught his attention. Venerable Chi and Kui Lang. Even puzzled, Jooan Fan would hardly ever butt into someone's problems, but today he was in such a good mood that he walked right over. What's wrong? Why are master and disciple arguing? Oh, Steward Jooan, Kui Lang immediately bowed, and Venerable Chi nodded in respect. This brat only knows how to cause trouble. He got a bit of merit, and it went to his head. He even forgot the last transgression that got him kicked into the labor office. Kui Lang looked ashamed and lowered his head. Jooan Fan raised an eyebrow. Just what happened? Can I hear it? Kui Lang hesitated before giving Jooan Fan a glance. Steward Jooan, you know already. It's my girl. Oh, because of you, she's been detained in the mystical heaven sect? That's why Jooan Xiaoyu threatened you in the Double Dragon gathering? Jooan Fan exclaimed. Venerable Chi's eyelid twitched, and he glared at Kui Lang. You actually gave up for an enemy in the Double Dragon gathering? This is absurd. If the sect leader finds out, you'd be lucky to keep your life. Sigh, damn. Vixens. Venerable Chi stomped in anger. Jooan Fan waved his hand with a smile. Venerable Chi, there's no need for anger. Only the three of us know this. Besides, I'm also about to leave anyway. Thank you so much, Steward Jooan. Venerable Chi gave a deep bow, then glared at Kui Lang, making him feel even more guilty. However, he still clung to one last thread of hope. Didn't we earn a great merit? Sect leader is cheerful as well. I think using this chance to ask him to use the demon scheming sect's glorious name to ask the mystical heaven sect to get my girl back? Bullshit, Venerable Chi snapped. The demon scheming sect is against fraternizing, and you even expect he'd lower himself to the mystical heaven sect for a mere disciple like you? We'd be lucky if the mystical heaven sect wouldn't take advantage of our weakness and just let her go. But even so, our sect would have lost its name because of it. Venerable Chi's torrent of words smashed into Kui Lang's ears, causing him to lose hope. And yet, he still looked at Jooan Fan with a fixed gaze. His master couldn't help him, so now it was up to Jooan Fan if he was willing to pass it on to the sect leader. Even if a mere disciple, Jooan Fan was the sect leader's confidant. Having gotten such a glorious win at the Double Dragon gathering, putting the sect in the top middle three sects, the sect leader might hear him out when not even elders or venerables could get his ear. Jooan Fan frowned, rubbing his chin. Your master's right. Let it go, or you'll only make it worse. Wu Yue doesn't care about anyone. He won't help you at all. In fact, he would fly into a rage and punish you. You're better off not mentioning it. Venerable Chi nodded like it was obvious, glaring at his disciple. See that? Even Steward Jooan said it. Kui Lang's face fell in despair. Although, Jooan Fan switched topics with a crafty smile. Getting someone out isn't necessarily done using the sect's name. I'm just about to go to Mystical Heaven sect and fetch someone. You can just come along. Ugh. The two gave him dumb looks. Then Venerable Chi gasped, Steward Zhuo. Ha ha ha, if I won't do it, who else will? Zhuo Fan smiled, looking above. I've been absorbed with the demonic path for years and have discovered many truths. That should make me a somewhat advanced player. No matter how deep you sink into the sea of desire, I shall not fear, ha ha ha. The two looked lost. Zhuo Fan turned to Kui Lang. What are you staring at? Come on, Mystical Heaven Sect had been a lower 3 sect for all these years and shouldn't have many sacred stones. I'll use the 2,000 on me to smash their face in and get those girls. One for you and one for me. Zhuo Fan started, walking toward the gate. Kui Lang came out of it at some point and rushed after him. Steward Zhuo, you're really going to give your sacred stones for my girl? Of course. Sacred stones are just invaluable things compared to people. Steward Zhuo, you're truly kind. I'll never forget this for as long as I live. No matter what happens, I will do anything you ask. Lighten up. We're just two guys bearing the same trouble, though there may be a use of you yet. Who knows, ha ha ha. Zhuo Fan and Kui Lang chuckled in the distance, leaving Venerable Chi dumbstruck. 2,000 sacred stones over 2 girls? This is such a waste. Their sect had at most 1,000 of those glittering baubles that had to last the sect for centuries. Yet now this Steward Zhuo was going to squander twice that on some broads. Venerable Chi looked ahead, his face twitching and his heart bleeding. No matter how loaded you are, you can't just throw it all away. Sigh, how can a nouveau riche understand the pain of poverty? Venerable Chi shook his head, unable to make sense of Zhuo Fan's actions, but also envious and admiring him. Zhuo Fan was spending so much for his girl and was going to do the same for Kui Lang. Such a nice boss was a rarity in this world. It's Kui Lang's fortune to land such a boss, while theirs, Zi Wu Yue, was stingy to the core, fighting for every scrap. He had no idea, though, that those 2,000 rocks were a drop in a bucket for Zhuo Fan, while a life fortune to Zi Wu Yue. Putting them side by side, one could see how one spent. Zhuo Fan, can we go now? At the demon scheming sect's entrance, Shuang'er and Yongning were waiting for him. Yongning asked, Brother Kui Lang, you're coming along? Kui Lang had a bright smile, but it was Zhuo Fan who said, No, he will only accompany us to Mystical Heaven Sect. Mystical Heaven Sect? We're going to get Ching Cheng and then go home together. Zhuo Fan had a wide smile on his face. The girls' hearts skipped a beat, but then they smiled. Shuang'er found Zhuo Fan's look even more enchanting. No wonder I found your attitude off. You're no longer as depressed as before. So you have your answer for Sister Ching Cheng. I've dragged out this question for far too long. Zhuo Fan sighed. The girls nodded, finally able to rest their intentions and be happy for him. The 4 were now on the road to Mystical Heaven Sect. Since Zhuo Fan said he'd answer Chu Ching Cheng half a year later, they were in no rush. In fact, Zhuo Fan was actually dragging his feet, as if nervous. This question had been on hold for almost a decade. How would he answer? How? Would she react? How would I react? These were all pressing questions to Zhuo Fan. Suddenly, Zhuo Fan felt as if he was like a tense bride before her wedding. The girls giggled. The high and mighty Steward Zhuo balks when it comes to talking about relationships. The team had gone like this for a month, yet they were only a third of the way to Mystical Heaven Sect. Even Shuang'er was starting to dislike this, and pouted. We're not here to sightsee. If we go any slower, you'll miss your due date. With Sister Ching Cheng. Really? Zhuo Fan let out a dry laugh. But how am I to answer her? All these years I've been so cold. Whoosh! A red figure came smashing down 100 meters from them, kicking up a cloud of dust. The group was stunned to see Mystical Heaven Sect's Danner, Chu Ching Cheng's junior sister. As he was going to Chu Ching Cheng, Zhuo Fan had to mind her junior sister, no? So he rushed over to help her up. Danner, what's wrong? What happened? Zhuo Fan. Danner looked in joy, then said, You have to save Sister Ching Ching.